The Valaxian research vessel Stellar Seeker drifted silently at the edge of the Sol system, its quantum sensors gathering data that made no sense to its highly educated crew. Captain Zira Vatal, her crystalline form shimmering under the dim bridge lights, studied the holographic display with all four of her visual processors active, a sign of extreme focus among her species. "Run the analysis again," she ordered, her voice carrying the harmonic resonance typical of Valaxian speech. "These readings cannot be accurate." Chief Science Officer Kex adjusted his sensory appendages and complied, though he knew the result would be the same. The preliminary scans of the third planet, designated Earth in its inhabitants' primary languages, showed technological advancement far beyond what their initial radio emissions had suggested. "Captain, the data remains consistent," Kex reported, his crystalline structure pulsing with bands of concerned purple light. "The humans have established approximately 3,000 artificial satellites in orbit, maintain multiple space stations, and," he paused, double-checking the readings, "have deployed a network of defensive platforms that our systems cannot fully analyze." Zyra's outer shell darkened, the Valaxian equivalent of a frown. When the Coalition's long-range scouts had detected radio signals from this system, they had expected to find another pre-spaceflight civilization, perhaps worthy of subtle guidance and eventual uplifting. Instead, they had discovered a species that had somehow masked its true technological capabilities from the rest of the galaxy. "Show me their military installations," she commanded, and the holographic display shifted to reveal a global network of bases, fleet deployments, and what appeared to be defensive structures that defied Valaxian classification protocols. The bridge crew watched in silence as data streamed across their consciousness matrices. Earth's oceans contain mobile launch platforms capable of delivering devastating weapons across incredible distances. Their skies were patrolled by aircraft that could outmaneuver Valaxian interceptors. And their space forces. "They have achieved antimatter containment," Kex announced, his voice carrying an undertone of disbelief. "Their larger vessels appear to utilize controlled antimatter reactions for both propulsion and weapon systems." Zyra felt her crystalline structure vibrate with concern. The Coalition had only managed stable antimatter containment within the last century, after 15,000 years of scientific advancement. These humans had gone from primitive radio signals to antimatter weapons in less than 200 years. "What about their ground forces?" she asked, dreading the answer. The display shifted again, showing armies equipped with powered armor suits, electromagnetic weapons, and ground vehicles that could operate in environments that would shatter Valaxian bodies. But what truly caught her attention were the numbers. The humans maintained massive standing armies even during peacetime, with production capabilities that could multiply their forces exponentially if needed. "Captain," her tactical officer, Ven, interrupted. "I'm detecting active scanning sweeps from multiple Earth stations. Their detection systems are far more sophisticated than we anticipated. We cannot guarantee our stealth systems will remain effective." This was unprecedented. The Stellar Seeker utilized the most advanced cloaking technology in the Coalition fleet. The fact that primitive Earth sensors could potentially pierce their disguise was not just surprising. It was terrifying. "Show me their population centers," Zyra ordered, wondering if perhaps their military advancement had come at the cost of their civilization's development. The display shifted once more, and her hopes were dashed. Sprawling metropolises covered significant portions of the planet's habitable land, connected by networks of ground, air, and sea transportation. Energy signatures indicated power generation capabilities that rivaled some Coalition worlds, and the level of industrial automation suggested a society that had optimized its manufacturing processes to an extraordinary degree. "They're not just dangerous," Kex observed, his scientific detachment failing to hide his awe. "They're efficient. Look at how they've integrated their military infrastructure with civilian areas. Every major city appears to have defensive capabilities that could be activated within moments." Zyra made a decision. "Prepare a priority transmission to Coalition Command. Classification: Immediate response required. Message begins. First contact protocols insufficient for current situation. Earth represents previously unknown category of emergent civilization. Military capabilities exceed standard metrics by factor of minimum 300%. Requesting immediate diplomatic intervention and revision of contact procedures. As her communications officer began encoding the message, Zara continued to study the holographic representation of Earth. In all her centuries of exploration, she had never encountered anything like this. A species that had not only survived its own rapid technological advancement, but had emerged stronger for it. Additional note to command, she added. Recommend classification of humanity as Category 1 military power. These are not primitives in need of guidance. These are equals who have walked a different path to the stars, and they have armed themselves more thoroughly than any species we have encountered in recent history. The Stellar Seeker maintained its position, gathering data that would soon shake the foundations of coalition policy regarding emerging civilizations. On the planet below, humanity continued its relentless advance, unaware that their military preparations had just saved them from becoming another protectorate in a vast alien federation. They had prepared for the worst while hoping for the best, and in doing so, had earned something far more valuable than guidance from the stars. They had earned respect. The message from Coalition Command arrived faster than Captain Zira had expected. Their orders were clear but puzzling. Initiate diplomatic contact despite the military disparity. As she absorbed the data through her crystalline matrix, she detected an underlying tone of curiosity from her superiors. They wanted to understand how humans had advanced so quickly. Begin broadcast on all common frequencies, she ordered, her form pulsing with nervous energy. Standard peaceful contact protocols. But before their transmission could begin, the tactical display erupted with warnings. 3 human vessels had appeared seemingly from nowhere, their sudden presence making a mockery of Valaxian stealth detection systems. They maintained a perfect triangular formation around the Stellar Seeker, their weapons ports closed but clearly visible. Impossible, Ven whispered, his tactical matrix struggling to process the data. They were using some form of dimensional displacement. We didn't detect them because they simply weren't here until now. The humans' first transmission came through with perfect clarity, translated automatically by their systems. Valaxian vessel, you have been observed in Earth space for the past 72 hours. Your stealth technologies are noted but insufficient. Please maintain your current position and prepare for diplomatic exchange. Zira felt her crystalline structure vibrate with shock. Not only had they been detected, but the humans had also identified their species. The implications were staggering. Earth must have been observing coalition communications for years without anyone noticing. They're deploying something, Kex reported, his scientific curiosity overtaking his concern. Small objects, approximately 3 meters in length. The objects, dozens of them, moved to form a perfect sphere around both the human ships and the Stellar Seeker. Each one pulsed with an energy signature that their sensors couldn't properly analyze. Captain, one of the human vessels transmitted, we apologize for the security measures, but our protocols for first contact scenarios are quite specific. The devices you see are dimensional anchors. They prevent any form of faster-than-light travel or communication within their sphere of influence. This is for everyone's safety during initial discussions. Zira's tactical officer confirmed the humans' claim with growing alarm. They were indeed cut off from both escape and communication with Coalition Command. The humans had effectively trapped one of the most advanced ships in the Coalition fleet with technology that shouldn't have existed. We accept your terms, Zira transmitted back, knowing she had no real choice. How shall we proceed? The response came with an efficiency that belied its diplomatic nature. We're sending over a single representative in an unarmed shuttle. We request permission to dock. Be advised that any hostile action will result in immediate defensive measures. As if to emphasize this point, the dimensional anchors pulsed once, revealing for a split second the true extent of human weapons locked onto their position. The display made Ven's tactical matrix temporarily overload. He had never seen such concentrated firepower. The human shuttle that approached was deceptively simple in design. Kex's scans revealed layers of technology that seemed to contradict each other. Quantum fields overlapping with primitive chemical rockets, advanced AI systems working in concert with manual controls. When the human ambassador emerged through the docking port, Zara experienced another shock. The being was wearing what appeared to be a simple diplomatic uniform, but her sensors detected multiple layers of personal shielding and what could only be described as a portable dimensional pocket generator. "Greetings," the human said, showing no sign of surprise at their crystalline forms. "I am Ambassador Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense and Diplomatic Corps." She smiled, a gesture that Zyra's cultural database identified as friendly, though the implications of her organization's name were not lost on the Valaxian captain. "We understand you've been studying us," Chen continued. "We hope you'll forgive our rather dramatic response to your presence, but we've learned through observation that it's best to negotiate from a position of strength." Zyra's outer layer shifted through several colors before settling on the formal diplomatic hue. "You've been watching us. For how long?" Chen's smile widened slightly. "We detected your first scout ships at the edge of our system 15 years ago. We've been monitoring coalition communications ever since. Your encryption is impressive, but we've had some unique advantages in developing our decryption technologies." The implications hit Zyra like a gravity wave. Earth hadn't just developed advanced military technology. They had done so with the specific goal of being ready for first contact. Every satellite, every defensive platform, every advancement had been made with the knowledge that they weren't alone in the universe. "Your species is remarkable," Zyra admitted. "We came expecting to find primitives in need of guidance. Instead, you found equals who took a different path," Chen finished. "We've spent centuries preparing for this moment, Captain. Humanity has a long history of cultural clashes. We weren't about to let our first meeting with alien life be guided by anything but careful preparation and sufficient strength to ensure mutual respect." As the human ambassador spoke, Zara couldn't help but notice how the defensive sphere around their ships maintained perfect formation, how each dimensional anchor adjusted its position with microscopic precision. Everything about humanity's first contact protocols spoke of a species that had turned paranoid preparation into an art form. They had not just developed technology. They had developed it with purpose, with the specific goal of ensuring they would never be at another species' mercy. In doing so, they had unknowingly changed the course of galactic diplomacy forever. The age of simple first contact protocols was over. Humanity had shown that preparation and strength were not merely advantages. They were necessities in a universe full of unknown possibilities. Ambassador Chen's next words sent ripples of shock through the Valaxian crew's crystalline forms. "Perhaps you'd like to see what else we've been keeping hidden." The holographic display in the Stellar Seekers conference room activated, but not by Valaxian control. Human data streams flowed through their systems with practiced ease, displaying a series of locations across Earth that had been completely invisible to their initial scans. "Impossible," Kex whispered, his scientific matrix struggling to process the information. "These facilities, their phase shifted, existing in multiple dimensional states simultaneously." "Correct," Chen nodded, that same measured smile on her face. "What you initially detected was impressive enough to get your attention. What we're showing you now is why the Earth Defense Force has never lost a simulation against any potential alien invasion scenario." The displays showed vast underground complexes housing fleets of ships that made the vessels currently surrounding them look primitive by comparison. Weapon systems that could theoretically tear holes in space itself. Defense networks that extended not just through space, but through multiple dimensions. "Your species achieved this level of advancement in mere centuries?" Zyra asked, her voice carrying harmonics of both awe and fear. "How?" "Necessity," Chen replied simply. "Human history is filled with examples of civilizations that fell because they weren't prepared for outside contact. When we first began detecting artificial signals from space, our leaders made a decision. We would not be found wanting. The display shifted again, showing training facilities where humans in advanced combat suits moved with impossible speed and precision. We took every science fiction scenario, every theoretical threat, and prepared for them all. Paranoid, perhaps, but as you can see, it paid off. Ven, the tactical officer, had been unusually quiet during the exchange. Finally, he spoke. These preparations, they're not just military in nature. You've restructured your entire civilization around the concept of survival and advancement. Chen's expression grew more serious, perceptive. Yes, every aspect of human society has been influenced by our determination to be ready. Our education systems, our industrial base, our scientific research, all of it focused on ensuring humanity's place among the stars would be earned through strength and innovation. The display showed more. Civilian infrastructure that could be converted to military production within hours, residential areas with hidden bunkers capable of withstanding orbital bombardment, and perhaps most impressively, a global defense grid that could theoretically seal off Earth's entire solar system from the rest of spacetime. But why reveal all this now? Zyra asked. Surely maintaining these secrets would be advantageous. Chen's response was measured but firm. Because, Captain, we believe in negotiating from a position of absolute clarity. You came here expecting to find a species worthy of uplifting. Instead, you found one capable of defending itself against anything the Coalition might consider. We're showing you this so there can be no misunderstandings about humanity's position in future diplomatic relations. As if to emphasize this point, new data began streaming across the displays. Theoretical analyses of coalition military capabilities, detailed breakdowns of their technological vulnerabilities, and strategic assessments that made it clear humanity had planned for every possible confrontation scenario. We don't want war, Chen continued. Humanity has had enough of conflict, but we will not be subjugated, guided, or uplifted. We have earned our place among the stars through our own efforts, and we will maintain it through our own strength. Kex, still processing the technical data, suddenly straightened. These advancements, some of them shouldn't be possible according to our understanding of physics. Ah, Chen smiled again. That's perhaps our greatest strength. Humanity has a remarkable ability to look at what everyone else says is impossible and ask why not. We've rewritten the rules of physics several times in our drive to be ready for this moment. Zyra felt her crystalline structure pulse with a new emotion, respect. This wasn't just a species that had developed impressive military technology. This was a civilization that had transformed itself entirely, driven by an unshakable determination to stand as equals in a universe they knew would eventually come calling. Your coalition isn't the first alien civilization we detected, Chen revealed, causing another wave of shock through the Valaxian crew. We've been watching several species for decades. Each observation helped us prepare, helped us understand what we might face. We chose to reveal ourselves to you because our analysis suggested the coalition might be ready for a truly equal diplomatic partnership. The implications were staggering. Humanity hadn't just prepared for first contact. They had actively studied potential contacts, chosen their moment, and revealed themselves in a way that established their position as equals from the very first interaction. The Coalition's emergency session was unlike anything in its 15,000-year history. Representatives from 200 species gathered in the vast crystalline chamber of the High Council, their forms ranging from energy beings to silicon-based life, all united in their shock at the reports from Earth. First Speaker Meridax, a being of pure energy contained within an ornic mechanical shell, addressed the assembly. The revelations from the Stellar Seeker's mission have shaken the foundations of our understanding. Humanity has not only matched our technological advancement, but has done so in ways we never imagined possible. The chamber erupted in a cascade of voices, each species communicating in their native form. The Valaxian delegation, led by Captain Zyra herself, remained silent, their crystalline forms still processing everything they had witnessed. "They have been watching us," a Zentarian representative hissed through its atmospheric converter, "studying our weaknesses, preparing countermeasures. This is an act of aggression." Ambassador Chen, standing calmly at the center of the chamber, showed no reaction to the accusation. Instead, she activated a small device on her wrist. Instantly, the chamber's defensive systems, previously thought impenetrable, displayed their command codes on every screen. "If we wished you harm," Chen stated quietly, "this conversation would be very different. Humanity has had the capability to compromise coalition security for years. We chose not to, just as we chose to reveal ourselves now, in this way." The silence that followed was deafening. First Speaker Meridax's energy form flickered with what might have been amusement. "And yet you demonstrate your power by showing us our vulnerability. Curious diplomacy, Ambassador." "We find honesty preferable to hidden threats," Chen replied. "Humanity has spent centuries preparing not just for war, but for peace. We developed our military capability to ensure we could pursue diplomacy from a position of strength." New holographic displays appeared throughout the chamber, showing the true extent of Earth's influence. Hidden observation posts near major coalition worlds, dimensional taps monitoring subspace communications, and most surprisingly, evidence of human intervention that had prevented 3 separate terrorist attacks on coalition facilities. "You've been protecting us." The Zentarian representative's translator barely managed to convey their confusion. "We've been protecting everyone," Chen corrected, "including ourselves. Humanity learned long ago that true security comes not from merely being strong, but from ensuring stability for all. We've stopped 17 different species from attempting to hijack coalition technology. We've prevented 3 potential wars between member races, all without anyone knowing we existed." First Speaker Meridax's energy form pulsed with intense light. "You present us with a paradox, Ambassador. Your species possesses military might that could challenge the entire coalition, yet you've used it with remarkable restraint. You've operated in secret not to undermine us, but to maintain peace. How do you expect us to respond to this?" Chen's reply was measured but firm. "We expect you to recognize reality. Humanity is not applying for membership in your coalition. We are not seeking your approval or permission. We are announcing our presence and offering an alliance between equals." The chamber erupted again, but this time the tone was different. Species that had initially reacted with fear were now showing signs of curiosity and even admiration. The Valaxians, in particular, were emanating colors that indicated deep respect. "You offer alliance," a quantum collective representative chimed in, their voice a symphony of probability waves. "But your technological advancement suggests you don't need one." "Why?" "Because isolation leads to stagnation," Chen answered. "Humanity has reached its current level by observing and learning from others. We believe we have much to teach, but also much to learn. The universe is vast, and no single species can claim to have all the answers." First Speaker Meridax's mechanical shell leaned forward slightly. "And if we refuse? If the coalition views Earth as too great a threat to accept?" Chen's smile never wavered. "Then we continue as we have been, watching, protecting when necessary, and advancing on our own path. But consider this. Wouldn't you rather have humanity as an open ally than a hidden guardian?" The implications of her words resonated through the chamber. Humanity had already proved they could operate within coalition space at will. They had demonstrated both overwhelming power and remarkable restraint. They had shown wisdom along with strength. "Perhaps," First Speaker Meridax mused, "it is time for the coalition to evolve. We have long claimed to be a gathering of equals, yet we still categorize emerging civilizations as requiring our guidance. Humanity has shown us another way." The final negotiations took place on Earth itself, a gesture of trust that wasn't lost on the coalition delegation. As their ships descended through the atmosphere, Escorted by vessels that seemed to phase in and out of normal spacetime, the alien representatives witnessed firsthand the true face of human civilization. Massive arcologies reached into the clouds, their surfaces shimmering with photovoltaic panels and atmospheric processors. Magnetic trains zipped between cities at hypersonic speeds through evacuated tubes. The air was filled with personal transport vehicles operating in perfect harmony, guided by an AI network so advanced it made coalition systems look primitive. But what truly caught their attention were the seamless integrations of military and civilian infrastructure. Every beautiful building was also a fortress. Every public space could transform into a defensive position. The humans had created a civilization that was simultaneously peaceful and ready for war at a moment's notice. "Welcome to New Geneva," announced Admiral Sarah Chen, newly promoted after her successful diplomatic mission. "We thought it fitting to host these talks in a city named after one of humanity's first attempts at international cooperation." First Speaker Meridax's energy form pulsed with appreciation. "Your species continues to surprise us, Admiral. We expected to find military installations. Instead, we find art and innovation woven into your defenses. That's humanity's greatest strength," Chen replied as she led them into the United Earth Government complex. "We don't see peace and strength as opposing forces. We see them as complementary necessities." The conference room they entered was a marvel of engineering. Its walls could withstand a direct antimatter strike, yet they appeared to be made of delicate glass, offering a panoramic view of the city. Quantum computers hummed silently, processing data at rates that made the coalition's best systems seem glacial. "Your civilization," the Zentarian representative observed, "has achieved something unprecedented. You've maintained the drive and innovation that comes from competition, while unifying your species in purpose." Chen nodded. "We had good motivation. When we first detected alien signals, humanity realized we had two choices: unite and advance, or remain divided and vulnerable. We chose unity through strength. The negotiations that followed would reshape the galaxy. Humanity didn't just join the coalition. They transformed it. Earth's advanced technologies were shared, but not freely given. Their military expertise was offered, but with conditions. They established new protocols for first contact scenarios, emphasizing preparation and strength alongside peaceful intentions. "There's something we haven't told you yet," Chen announced near the end of the talks. "Something that proves why our approach to galactic civilization is necessary." The holographic displays activated, showing long-range scans of something massive approaching the galaxy. Something that had wiped out thousands of civilizations in neighboring galaxies. "We detected them 30 years ago," Chen explained, her voice grave. "An intergalactic threat that destroys everything in its path. The Coalition's traditional approach of peaceful expansion wouldn't have been enough to stop them. That's why we pushed ourselves so hard, developed our military so rapidly. We weren't just preparing for first contact, we were preparing for survival." The alien representatives stared at the data in shock. First Speaker Meridax's energy form flickered rapidly. "You've known about this threat all along, and you still chose to reveal yourselves and offer alliance." "Of course," Chen smiled. "Humanity learned long ago that the strongest defense isn't a fortress. It's a network of allies who are equally strong. We've spent centuries preparing Earth for this threat. Now we have decades to help prepare the rest of the galaxy." The revelation transformed the negotiations. What had begun as diplomatic talks between potential allies became a strategic planning session for galactic survival. Humanity's military advancement was no longer seen as threatening. It was recognized as necessary foresight. "This is why we revealed ourselves now," Chen explained. "Earth could probably survive this threat alone. We've prepared enough. But that's not who we are. Humanity's strength has always come from our ability to face challenges together, to lift others up even as we advance ourselves." As the talks concluded, a new era of galactic civilization was born. The coalition was reorganized, with Earth taking a leading role in military preparation and technological advancement. But it wasn't dominance humanity sought, it was partnership. "We stand stronger together," Chen declared in the final session. Earth's military might isn't meant to control or intimidate. It's a shield behind which all species can grow and advance. We faced the stars expecting to find enemies, prepared for war, and instead found the opportunity to forge something greater, a galactic civilization ready to face any threat, united in strength and purpose. The coalition representatives left Earth with a new understanding. They had come expecting to find either primitives to guide or warriors to fear. Instead, they found teachers who had mastered the delicate balance between peace and power, between preparation and progress. Humanity had revealed itself not through conquest or submission, but through strength tempered by wisdom. They had shown that true power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the capacity to protect. And as the galaxy prepared for the challenges ahead, Earth stood ready, not as a conqueror, but as a guardian, a symbol of what could be achieved when determination met wisdom, when strength served peace.